Okay. This I love. Already I just love this scenery, this set dressing. This chapter is called Disappear. I just love this like back alley. There's so much life to it, the graffiti and stuff. It feels so suitable to see these characters kind of meet the end of their arc here. Uta bleeding out. It's warm. Remember what he said? We are incapable of feeling warmth. And oh boy, the messaging here is like a little twisted, isn't it? But first, let's break down the rest of this page. Reminiscing on times when they fought in the past. Every day was so exciting. We both messed up our legs so bad. Itori had to carry us home. Didn't matter what we broke, how much we bled back then. Today was the most fun I've ever had. That line really sticks with me. It reminds me of some song that was in my big depressing indie era. What was it? I want to say it's like a Crywank song or something. Something in that realm where they sing very mournfully, today was the best day I've ever had or something. And it's like the emotion is like, and it's over. And like realizing shit's not gonna be this good because this was like the last hurrah of happiness or whatever. It captures that pretty well, I think. That emotion of the good times are definitely over now. But yeah, this saying, it's warm. Obviously a callback to the last chapter where he's saying, we have to fight. We're ghouls. Humans hate us. The humans are loved. Ghouls are hated. Even if you have a reason to fight, you're still fighting. We don't know warmth. We don't know any alternative to that. Which, like, I don't think we're supposed to believe. We're just supposed to believe that Uta feels like that. And Uta feels that deep sadness. Now here, again, it's like a little twisted. It feels a little ironic that Uta is like, all I know is this void of conflict. But here, having just experienced the ultimate conflict, the conflict that's ending his life, he feels that warmth. He feels something different than that endless void. So I guess the messaging is like, Uta's not wrong. Life, especially as a ghoul, is all about conflict. But that even in this conflict, even when you're conflicted with each other, you can still forge connections that are genuinely fun and warm and meaningful. I don't know, it's pretty grim, but this is a pretty grim series, so I guess I shouldn't be surprised. I love this though. Again, it's like, this is a very functional page. A lot is being conveyed. There's a lot of like really evocative close-ups. We're getting a good sense of scene and of character. But in the specific layout of the panels, in the close-ups they choose, in this like growing density as you move through the page, I think it still really well conveys, while still being very functional, it really emotionally conveys this feeling of finality, of catharsis and things coming to a close. It's all over, isn't it? Had a bad feeling when you started working for Mr. Yoshimura. Felt like we were gonna get separated. Remember what I said about your sister? I said I'd help you avenge her. Kept trying to get her back from Q. Yeah, okay. I remembered right on the nick of time. if I got to this point and I hadn't remembered the origin of Arima's lightning weapon and that being Yomo's sister and all that, I would have been like, oh shit, what's he talking about? Not promising that won't happen later with some other scene, but I'm doing my best. That means nothing now, does it? Yeah, Arima's dead. It's too late. I couldn't change even when the world kept changing. Everybody's gone now. My parents, my brother, my sister, the people of the Fourth Ward. This world is all about loss. I like this. This is something that I think very few series pull off really well, because it either comes across as very melodramatic or like sadcore or whatever, but there's a way to convey the scale of loss with like a light touch. I think Evangelion does it really well. We're near the end of the series, the characters just sort of seem to be adrift. And once you kind of focalize through them and realize, it's like, oh shit, yeah, all of their friends are dead. Like, of course, this character has been left in this state. And it's not that we need to get melodramatic about it or mournful. But if you just kind of like hint just enough, like just this little monologue from Uta is enough to be like, yeah, shit has changed. Like, the world they live in is so disjoint from everything they've known. What was all about loss? You're wrong. Shigao. Yomo says, we've both felt that way, that this world is about loss. I lost my sister, Toka lost her father, and we still try to convince ourselves that it was inevitable. Until I lost Antiku. When Antiku was gone, I didn't know what to think anymore. What was I supposed to do? What did I have to do to stop losing what I cared about? Would things have changed if I struggled against it like Ken did? When I almost lost Toka and Ayato at Cochlea, I realized... Cochlea, not Cloaca. But if you want to stop losing who you care about, you have to stand up and fight. So yeah, Yomo has always, you know, been almost on like the observer side. Uta as well. They've been more non-combatant than combatant. Like, Yomo's obviously fought before, but like never in the position where he's like on the front line. I'm going to fight until I die. So yeah, this is like grim messaging, but it kind of reinforces what I was saying before, that it's like through conflict we can forge connection, and through conflict we can protect what we care about. Those seem to be some of the only ineffable messages of the series. And they both, again, are strong pro-social messaging instead of like anarchistic, hedonistic messaging. You need to sacrifice in order to understand people, in order to protect people. And there's something to be gained at the end of it. Something to be gained. Toka and Ken's baby. The two of them in the life that's about to be born, it makes me so happy. Finding connection with each other and keeping the connection. They taught me that there's more than just loss for us. So again, it's like interesting, because we keep kind of having these moments of catharsis and these moments of like ideological resolution at an individual level. But like, what does this translate into in terms of the new world order? Like, what? I still don't know. I still want to find out. Again, this is really nice paneling. Again, it's like, it's functional, and like these kind of like flashback panels and these illustrative panels and stuff are very functional. But I still really want to emphasize like how much creativity there still is in like the specific framing of the whole page, and like the breakdown and sequencing and stuff, ending on the Arthur fist. It's really impressive. I think this is a very... It's not a unique strength of the series, obviously, but it's like... never before have I seen a series that's so ambitious about, we need to get across all of this information functionally and efficiently, because it's a very dense, complex story. And then also ambitious about, we want every page to be like a work of art in its own right. We want to like put deliberation into every panel, and like we're gonna achieve both these goals simultaneously. It's just crazy. It's the same for you. If you want to eat me, just keep trying. Huh. If that's what you want, do it. But I want to be an uncle, so I won't hold back. Stop being a problem for other people. You can be a problem for me as much as you want, because you're a friend. You're right. I understand. We're both adults now, aren't we? I'm telling you, there's a psychosexual aspect to it. The BL, my yaoi goggles, my Fujoshi radar is beeping like crazy over here, and I don't even think that's a hot take. It's just my occupation. But I mean, it's like, it's interesting, right? Like, we have to understand some way of relating to this lens, this worldview of I'm going to live to try to kill you and eat you, right? We somehow have to connect with this character, and I think that's a lens that's insightful. Is that he's just down bad for Yomo in some capacity. You got so strong, Renji. By the way, when Kaneki and Toka stopped by my stuff, I thought those two should hook up. Me too. We still never saw her fight. We still don't know. What the frick? How strong is she? We have no idea. She got her boobs out and everything. She must be strong, I think. I don't know. We'll never know. That's all the better. I like these little flashbacks here. I'm not sure why there is a line in Greek, I believe. You are my pain. You kill me. You keep me alive. Okay. Wow. Honestly, on my bingo card, I would not have expected that we would spend so much of the final volume on those characters. But as I said, like they really are very ideologically representative, I think, of big questions the series is asking. And it's like they're the most illustrative because they both kind of start from the middle, right? Like they both come from almost this like observer faction where they're not laying down their life for any particular cause. And then when they finally have this huge moment of conflict, they have like the ideological weight of all these people they've been associating with building up into that, right? So I don't know, it's like very representative of Team Clowns versus Team everybody else. And I think it also draws a nice line between like the clowns' individual involvement. I'm sure, you know, they have a plethora of reasons for each and every one of them to be involved, but it can kind of be summarized in this like asocial, hedonistic, I'm just doing what's interesting to me, I'm pursuing these psychosexual personal desires, and then we draw a line in the sand between that and then like Furuta's grand scheming, V's grand scheming and stuff. So I think again we're like delineating and compressing different like power structures here at the end game. So it makes a lot of sense to me. But it also makes a lot of sense now. So talking to my boyfriend about the end of the series, he was like, oh, there was like controversies. Like people, he was reading it week by week when it came out, and he was also reading a lot of discussion around it. And he's like, there's people that were upset at what was focused on in the end. And we talked a lot about this. And I said, it feels like a lot of people read Shonen with like a wish list in their mind of all the fights they want to see. I gotta see this guy fight this guy. I gotta see that guy fight this guy as well. I gotta see this guy fight this guy. We gotta see this guy full power fight this guy. We gotta see this guy transform and fight this guy. And I think it's like kind of revealing of if you read Shonen and that's kind of all you get out of it, which isn't wrong because a lot of series, you know, including this series, are really, really enjoyable just at that level of just pure battle Shonen. And if that's really all you're focused on, I think it makes sense that your expectation for a good ending is to just check all of those boxes. And I don't even think that would be like a bad ending, depending on the series. But you can't have those expectations. Like, you can't judge the series based on this personal checklist that you've come up with that's going to be different from everybody else's checklist. Like, that is not the indicator of quality, is how many boxes it checks off. So anyways, like, I'm starting to understand, because I'm sure there was a big reading constituent that was like, why are we watching Yomo and Uta fight? Neither of these guys are like endgame. Neither of these guys are even the ones controlling the owl. So like, it doesn't matter. But, you know, as I've just spent like 20 minutes talking about, I think thematically and emotionally, there was like major core elements of the story being expressed there. So I don't know, it's like interesting. It's interesting to see these conflicts. God, we are not ready for One Piece ending discourse. I think so many shonen series, even ones that I personally feel like went off derails at some point, it's not until the very end that the core fan base starts revolting, and it's because they realize, hey, we're not going to get to all the items on my personal checklist, and then they start freaking out. And I think that's going to happen to One Piece, and I am not ready for it. I'm going to be pissed off. It's already happening with BNHA. You can tell people's checklists are going ignored by the author, and they're getting pissed off. Anyways, this is all a tangent. We're back. Amon versus Donato. Amon dead, but he rallies himself. Do you get it? Take a good look. Not deep enough. He's had his chances. Can't he go out? So this is another one that I think... Were people ragging on this? This one feels like, come on. Like, as I said, this conflict has been brewing since, like, day one. It would feel, I think, so anti-cathartic if we didn't get to see Amon get his revenge against Donato, right? But and I guess in the same sense, like, does it matter? Like, yeah, he's the one controlling the owl, but he didn't have to be the one controlling the owl. They could have, you know, I don't know, like, made the plot line tighter and had this be a more central conflict, for lack of a better word. So I don't know. It's like I think I'm glad overall that my boyfriend told me about the reception, because I think this is an interesting lens to think about it through. Is why were these choices made to include this stuff in the final volume when there's so precious little time left? Because I'm loving the series, and I don't want to just go, oh well, yeah, that was dumb. Like I think there is very interesting thematic reasons for all the fights they're choosing to show. Okay, so what's the deal with this one then? You know, obviously we have the big brewing conflict of Amon being from the orphanage that Donato rose. Saw the cruelty of ghouls up close. He hated ghouls more than anyone. The ghoul who raised him. She's like, I didn't know that. Give your eyes a shake. Isn't that obvious? No, I guess that's not obvious. Whatever. So, is this... Okay, this idea... Amon is still holding back. He's had his chances. He can't go all out. Interesting. He can't kill him. Ooh. You'd feel empty if you lost what you'd clung to, wouldn't you? He's like you. Overlaps. Amon and the guy who couldn't kill me. Interesting. I like this angle because Amon is like a good dude, right? Amon, from his first appearance, you were like, this is a guy who has a strong moral core. And so you would expect him in this moment to be like, I am executing justice. This is what I wanted this whole time. I need to eradicate this evil. Or alternatively, once you hear, oh, he's holding back, my thought was, like, why? There's some mystery as to why. But I was thinking in terms of what is driving his empathy? What is making him feel empathetic or pity towards Donato? And I was like, wow, that's crazy. Like, I didn't expect him to be having those emotions at this time. But it's not. It's just psychosis. It's just more psychosexual repression, right? Like, this is almost like a weird corollary to the Uta Yomo fight, where Uta is like, I am so far gone. I am true detective man. I have nothing. But I do have something, and it's my desire to kill you, right? Now we're kind of like, oh, even a stand-up dude like Amon, who is obviously very pro-social and isn't this sort of anarchistic clown, is struggling with the same thing. He is so deep in this pit of all I have in life is conflict that he subconsciously can't bear to end that conflict. I really like that because it shows that this sort of complex is like not beneath anyone. That even someone like Ammon is struggling with this complex of all of my connection to life is through fighting. What am I without this fight? Couldn't come to terms with it at the time. I knew Investigator Hoji would never lose to me. You bastard. Okay. He's still wearing that thing? Yeah, what? He's still wearing his friggin' necklace. I know you know. Still wearing it. This world is wrong. And here, I believe this is what Kaneki says to him in their first conflict, right? That he knows there's something off about Ken. He knows this is not a typical ghoul. And he's like, what is your ideology? Like, what are you doing? And I think that's what Ken says, right? The world is wrong. Yeah. And it's you monsters that are distorting it. Well, I don't even remember who says what to who. But yeah, this exchange, this was like their first meeting. And it's clear that they both saw each other as the distorting monster at that time, but that they were united in this idea. The world is wrong. To be convinced somebody is wrong without truly knowing them, can't imagine that being right. Okay. His necklace is knocked off at last. Thanks to this body, I know now. Many ghouls should be and are reviled by humans, and that doesn't change even by my standards of justice. There, of course, is an extremely freaky ghoul. A little freak who spoke in emoji all the time that Ammon saved, what's her face from? Psycho. The more I learned about the more I realized that Donato Popora is more evil than any of them. That is an indisputable fact. Why was I wearing a cross? I wore it to remind me of my days in the orphanage. I've never felt anything other than hatred for you. I knew, but kept ignoring it. So yeah, this is... What is he gonna say? This world is wrong and... I too was distorting it. Yeah, okay. And then he unveils the super weapon. This is an awesome page. This really kicks ass. I loved him. I loved Donato. Yeah. Good spread. Now that he acknowledges it to himself, it's sort of, again, like this corollary to the Uta-Yomo fight, where Uta is like, I'm fighting because I have this weird love but want to kill relationship with you. And here it's like only after Ammon acknowledges that within himself can he properly fight Donato. I loved him. I loved Donato. Again, it's like it's weird psychosexual stuff. I don't know, man. Because Donato always had like pedo vibes, you know? I'm not talking crazy here, am I? No, definitely not. And so this, like, I'm not gonna invite, the whole lot of child abuse discourse here, because that's way beyond what I can bite off and chew, but like definitely a complex relationship, a relationship built around complexes of hatred and devotion, and even just like the whole scenario where he would go visit Donato in Cochlea, and extract information from him. Right? It's like the whole like Hannibal Lecter thing, that like he's this abomination, but you turn to him with this like fixation, and it's a type of attraction where you need to like recognize the power he has over you and the power he has to enable you to do what you want. And in that sort of repulsed attraction, there is this like weird desire that I think, you know, is compounded again by this pseudo parental thing. A lot going on here, but not anymore, because he took the Donato's body in half. Good job, Ammon. Good job. Let's plunge ahead. 172. Oh, we still got quite a bit left. How many more are there? It's after midnight. How long will I keep going? Oh, we got quite a lot left. 7 more chapters. Can we do it? 8 more chapters. Can we do it? I don't know. I really want to do it because I don't know when I'll get another chance. But at the same time, I really want to enjoy it, and I don't want to feel like I'm just plunging ahead for the sake of it. If I can commit to doing some tomorrow, what's my work schedule looking like? I can do some tomorrow. We'll finish it off. But I think this is enough for now. Crown. Yeah, that's what they called him amongst the clowns. Okay. Yeah, that's enough for now. Good. This has been a lot of fun. I want to come at it again refreshed and not feeling like exhausted by it. I hope you're enjoying this. Tokyo Ghoul fans who subscribe to the Kisa YouTube channel. Shoutouts to my boyfriend if he's watching. There'll be more. I promise. Okay, goodbye.